without further ado, I would like to call upon Honorable Mwonzora to address us. Thank you.
Good morning, members of the press. Good morning, members of the MDC. Good morning, members of the public who are here present. I just want to welcome you on behalf of MDC Canvas. And what we are reading here is what a team of members within the MDC have asked me to read. I'm part of it, and I believe in it. And we want the world to know, and especially the MDC family, to know what is going on. I think there's a advice that has been coming out of the MDC leadership. Today, the 2nd of February, you might wonder why we came here. I chose this place because his father Zimbabwe there, Mr. Joshua Pomo, is looking at us and maybe that's our occasion.
Yeah.
We thank you all for attending this press conference, wherein we are assembled to state our position and stance regarding the recent events happening within the MDC. From its inception in 1999, the MDC is well known as a democratic party whose core values are enunciated in Articles 4.5 and 4.6 of the party's constitution. Article 4.5 states that the MDC considers democracy as a core value. To that extent, its policies are to be determined by its membership, and further, its leadership shall be accountable to the people as defined by the Constitution. Further, Article 4.6 states that, and I quote, the MDC family believes in freedom of expression, and further, the free circulation of ideas and information within the movement. It is apparent that from the passing away of its iconic leader, Dr. Morgan Pritchard Tsvangirai in 2018, the party has an unprecedented erosion of these values as self-appointed persons have taken turns to violate the party's sacrosanct document, the party's constitution. In particular, the so-called successive presidents have unashamedly failed to uphold the values and principles enshrined in the constitution of the party, especially Article 912, which spells out the duties of the president. Article 912 specifically requires the president to A. uphold and defend the party's constitution, 2. uphold and defend the principles of the party, 3. promote the principles of democratic discourse, participation, and equality of all members within the party. In the recent past, one Douglas Mwonzora abused the party's constitution by implementing unconstitutional processes, which culminated in the installation of a party leadership through an ineligible group of people outside the National Congress, as mandated by the party's constitution. This was a blatant attempt by Douglas Mwonzora to take over the party through an unconstitutional process. It is in this view of the above that the membership of the MDC, who hold strong beliefs that their party is membership and structure driven, cannot remain bystanders in the process, and now seek to redress the situation and ensure that the provisions and processes stated in the party constitution are followed to the letter. The party constitution is very clear on how the party is organized, managed, and how leadership positions are filled. And more importantly, the inalienable roles of party structures in such processes. Its electable roles of party structures in such processes. Accordingly, for Douglas Mwonzora to usurp the powers of the party branches, wards, districts and provinces in the National Congress agenda renders such an event null and void and hence of no force or effect. To expand on this, to all the public who are listening to us, our Congress starts at the branch. The branch is where every member of MDC starts from. Every 5 years, the party branches conduct congresses to elect branch office bearers. These newly elected branch officers then elect ward officers. The newly elected ward officers elect district officers. The newly elected district leadership officers elect provincial leadership. The provincial leadership, together with the district leadership and ward leadership, is called to a congress, which will nominate the top hierarchy at provincial level to choose the leadership at the top, which will constitute the National Council and the National Executive. Then the National Congress, which elects the National Steering Committee, will convene with the elected Congress members. It is a misnomer to think that the National Council can exist without undergoing the above processes. The National Council is a product of the above processes. And it is correct to say that there is no National Council without structures. Ask any of the bogus National Council members who have been put in the council today, and it becomes clear that the party's constitution was grossly violated. 5 of our provinces, of the MDC provinces, namely Marsh West, Marsh Rigo, Marsh South, Midlands North, and MDC USA, issued a press statement before this Congress, the said Congress, condemning the unconstitutional nominations for president and other senior party officers by a bogus National Council without a legal standing. Therefore, they ruled the nomination process and ensuring process the Congress is null and void and of no force and effect. We, in our leadership today, are trying to recorrect and redress that. As you are aware, seven members and many other members have been suspended of late by the very illegitimate council. We have been accused, these people have been accused of not towing the line. Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong script. Anyway, I didn't want to come to that. It is well known that it was a well-known fact that the so-called National Congress purportedly held by Blast Mwonzora was not preceded by lower level congresses, making such a National Congress unconstitutional. What we are stressing is that whatever is going on, the MDC lacks leadership at present. Because the Congress that came about has dissatisfied all the lower members because they didn't participate in it. And we are saying we are working with all the members, including those who are bogus in their present positions, to try to reconstitute the lower structures to ensure that a proper Congress is here. So the subsequent membership suspension of members by person emerging from such an illegal Congress, which lasted maybe for 1.5 hours, as I wasn't in the process, is of no force or effect, and hence rejected outright by most of the members. To move the party forward, consultations are in the process with members of all structural levels in order to rebuild the party structures, which in turn will constitute the Electoral College for a properly constituted Congress. In the meantime, we urge our members out there to listen to us, organize yourselves at branch level, organize yourselves at ward level, organize themselves at district level and do the proper process of forming structures that will eventually elect an MDC leadership. And we want everyone to remain calm. The party is not boiling. It is just recorrecting itself to make sure that the membership is given a chance to choose its leadership. And that's where we stand as a principle of leadership. We think, without saying this to the world and asking our membership to come together, we will not have done a service to the nation. In short, I want to say, and there is no individual who is bigger than an institution. And the institution of MDC must be preserved. And preserving the MDC institution, which is now 23 years, after what has happened and people believed in us that we are going to deliver. And the day our iconic leader died, everything became chaotic. So it's up to all Zimbabweans to ensure that the institution called MDC.
Now, if there are any questions, any areas you want to be elucidated, you are now free. If you can just raise your hand and give us your name and which organization you represent before you start.
What we are saying is when there is a leadership crisis in an institution, first the institution must be organized well enough to be able to run the country. What we are stating is if you ask any NDC member, the president or outside, they might tell you that they are not ready for elections because we need to organize the party. It is the party branches, the party wards, and the party districts that effectively manage to convince people at grassroots level that they are well represented. Without those, you can't pretend that we are going to go to an election and win it. So we don't want disasters. We just have to preserve our institution first. If we were to work hard and preserve our institution and elect an electable president, not anyone who could be electable according to the MDC structures, I think we could get to an election with a sound pact. But as we are now, we are stating that without following our own procedures, how do we follow the country's procedures? We are principled enough to say I would rather not be in an election than follow an institution that is being destroyed.
So now, what is the next course of action now that you've spoken out and said that there is an issue that's inspiring interest in how the business and members of the MDC?
I've already responded to say we want every member of our structures down there. That's why I'm addressing them. I've been in the party since the founding days. I've worked with the party as its organizing secretary. I'm asking them that, look, this is your institution, it's like your home. Let's build the proper structures and not destroy the institution. It's not about me. It's about every MDC member to see something that has gone 22 years to just go down the line and be shredded to a very small unit. We used to attract crowds, we used to attract so many people. So we need to build that understanding. The cohesiveness of the MDC family needs to be brought to the fore. By bringing our structures to understand that there are people interested in bringing them together and working together, we bring the same spirit that we started with. And everybody must go to the core values of MDC.
Perhaps in addition to what he has said, I think we must accept as Zimbabweans that Zimbabwe will not die after 2023 elections. There's life after that. We need to recorrect ourselves, reorient ourselves, and begin to move ahead. Even though perhaps one might think that it is at a late stage at the present moment, but we've got to look ahead and see where we are going. And more importantly, what we are saying too is that the task of actually putting a party into governance is is premised on the fact that actually we have got a core of people who resonate with their supporters. Now, where we are is a little bit difficult in the sense that actually we do not think that we do have a party that can actually do the job for us to bring true liberation to Zimbabweans who are suffering. You know the economic problems which you are facing in the country. Some party must be able to look at those kind of issues and begin to address them in a way that actually uplifts their lives.
So in this case, you feel the MDC has that capacity to address those issues?
We are saying that we want to reorganize, restructure the MDC and put in the right kind of people, and the institutions or the structures must be able, because we are a democratic party, the structures must be able to make the right kind of decisions. This is a social democratic party, and the social democratic party has to address issues and has to listen to its people, not have somebody who says that he can actually do whatever he wants and begin to chase around people and all those kind of things. We don't want to have that kind of thing, and it doesn't augur well for the future if you have got that kind of leadership. Hello.
Okay, thank you, sir. My name is Ndolo from VOA.
From
Voice of America.
Okay.
My question would be, when the other faction of the MDC, led by Nelson Chamisa, were pulled out of the MDC, we saw you supporting or being part of the other faction that chased away the other faction. But when that was happening, it happened at your party headquarters at Harvest House, what is now known as the Mwonzora House. Are you now in control, saying that you are now having your meetings at restaurants like this? Do you think you are still in control of the party, or you have now become just a breakaway faction? Do you think you are in control, given your venue and the setting and where you are now? Do you think you are in control, or it's better for you to build from afresh rather than fighting Mwonzora, who seems like is in control of the party in terms of your MPs, in terms of your funds? Are you in control of the party?
Look, you cannot ask whether we are in control, whether we are at Harvest House at present. Why we chose this place is because we are differing with the purported leadership. What we are agreeing is we remain members of MDC. Whoever wants to leave might leave. We are not here to say Harvest House, yes, is the seat of MDC. But for now, we are organizing members to make sure that individuals are not more important than the party. We are appealing, when we are doing this press statement, we are talking to our members in MDC to understand what is taking place. And they already understand, but they want us to address this to the public and the world, that they need even you as a journalist to help to say, should MDC be dead? MDC should not die, because it has already lived 22 years of working together. So when people are splitting and going wherever, they are splitting because they are becoming selfish. If you read my introduction, I explained that leader after leader, they become selfish and want to prove this thing to themselves. So it's now up to the MDC structures. We will work with them to make sure that they choose leaders. Even outside me, they choose whom they want to run this institution. This institution was founded on the principle of natural justice, democracy, social democracy, and integrity. Those things must be done. What we are seeing today, you as a journalist, there is no integrity in running a congress that is 1.5 hours. And you say we're finished. When South Africa was having a same conference, they had 5 days. Policies are pronounced. Chat you 5 years forward, and nothing happens. And we smile to say, yeah, they've done their congress. It's not a congress. it is not people-based. That is what we are talking about here. It's not just about taking power. You can always take power if you want. But people who judge you, people who refuse you, it is the people we are appealing to who belong to the MDC to say, don't kill your organization, because you don't even know where you're going. You will be moving running with a person, that person is not by a car. You don't even know whether you have a party or not. So we must be more principled to run within your party and control your party and eliminate leaders who are failing to run the party. Where you are and where you are coming from is not a problem. Maybe if you were a member, you would become the president after all this process.
I'd like to emphasize, because of the kind of question which you asked, I'd like to emphasize that we are not a violent party. It's one of our core principles. We are not a violent party. Whatever we are talking about is not something that happens overnight in one fell swoop. We want to be in control every minute, very minute when we go on stage. That's not what we are trying to do. It's a process. And we are saying we are taking the process so that we establish something that has got a strong foundation. So whoever is actually sitting in a particular office at this particular point in time, that's not where the party is, that's not where the people are. We are saying we are working with the people to ensure that the party rebuilds itself and re-emerges from the doldrums where it is at this particular point in time, and re-establishes itself as initially as a good opposition party, and possibly in future to govern this country.
Let me also add on to say that the MDC as an institution also invites you as part of the public or part of the state in Zimbabwe to actually explain the narrative. When we differed with Nelson Chamisa and other colleagues now in CC, it was not because we hated Chamisa. It was because of a matter of principle, of values, those which were violated, the constitution itself. That's how we differed. We remain brothers to this day. And even with the current leader, the current purported leader of the MDC, we have also, he has actually gone to violate the same code, the same principles, the same values, the same constitution. And we differ with him again. And it's not because we hate him, it's because of the violation of the party. Because like what had been alluded to, the party was built on social democracy, and that's the foundation. We cannot stand by seeing that those values, the same values being dismantled by somebody who is selfish. This is why we are here. The people are going to reclaim this party. Thank you.
Any chances of reuniting with Chamisa? Are you supporting him for the 2023 elections?
No, we are not looking at a person. We are trying to teach you something as a journalist. We are not following an individual. Chamisa should come to the MDC. The MDC is the founding party. So if you are asking me to follow Mwonzora or Chamisa, you are making us lose direction. Our point is, our founding party
since 2023 elections are here, and with all this confusion, who are you urging Zimbabweans to support, seeing the elections are already around the corner?
No, I only urge people to support an institution that can govern them properly. You don't rush to elect a person whom you might expect to govern you and put you in a worse situation. An institution like, you know what happened to Boris Johnson? He was removed as Prime Minister. It's not just about winning elections. It's also about what you want to deliver. Let's set everyone's policies, and if people are given a chance to vote for their best candidate, that is what we are looking at. It's not about an individual, I beg.
So we see you now, you are speaking out about the blatant disregard of constitutional processes within the MDC. And you feel that due process was not followed. But let's take you back to a couple of months ago. You are part of the group that was in support of those recalls that were conducted by Blast Mwonzora, in which several people were perceived to be allegiance to Nelson Chamisa were sacked from the party. Now, having taken that into consideration, why should Zimbabweans now treat you, why should they trust you with the party, having demonstrated that anyone who does not agree with you will be sacked from the party?
I don't think you are taking this thing, the issue of people being taken out of because they are NCC or what, was not led by me. Where have you seen me in that leadership position?
But
I was not in any leadership position. Chamisa sacked Kupe. Douglas Mwonzora sacked Chamisa. So am I the one who sacked them? I'm not the one who is after sacking. Actually, I've been one of the people who have always preached about unity. Unity is not about individuals. It's about working together. And you've never seen me talking about those things. And I don't want to go into areas where when people fail, you might keep it to a home. Not because you agree, but because you are saying, what did you do to change? But right now where we've reached a stage where this is becoming a dot. It's no longer the party it was. And we urge members of if I failed to do that as a member who has been almost at the top of the party, to say, wait, ngatisangane tibatanidze chunichi tigadzire musangano kubuda musangano handiyo answer. We can all correct each other. If someone has done wrong here, someone has done wrong there, we will all do the same thing and end up with a proper party. I've been the vice president of Zimbabwe. I'm not complaining with that Zimbabwe. I'm saying the topmost guy matters. So let's not put people into leadership for the sake of them to vote opposition for the sake of opposition. The opposition must have serious policies. So people are tired of fake leaders. You say you want to lead people, we all came to say Mugabe must go. Today we are still crying. So it's not about a person, it's about the institution that must run and deal with the economic, social, and political problems in the country.
So are you saying those records were in line with the constitution of the party?
Am I saying?
The records, because there is no record of you coming out in the open to denounce those records.
Because I'm now talking because of the latest event which we addressed. We addressed the event of the Congress. If we want a proper Congress done.
Yeah, maybe I will attend to the issue of reports. There's a misconception regarding the issue of reports in this country, because the MDC was recalling the MPs Vakangawapinda under the MDC alliance. The constitution here, Nyika and the MDC is very clear. Kuti wakonana nepati yakakusponsor into parliament or into council, you get recalled. ZANU-PF recalls people. The advocate Chamisa wakarikola wana Madam Kupe wakanetsana bye-bye. And the Mwonzora wakazvita zvakare. I'm not trying to defend or justify the reports that were being done by Mwonzora, because they were a bit too harsh and the items of political scoring. But legally, there is that clause in the national constitution and in the MDC constitution that talks about my reports. They are there, they do exist. And they've been done across the board. It's only the maybe intensity that they were being done na Mwonzora ikuti waiti wakarova vosia, and also when you fail to then field your own candidates when you have a report. This is, I think, where the problem should be. But the issue of reports, they do exist in all political parties. Everyone is recalled, somebody at some stage, and even Wachangirai, Baka, Zingavana BT, and the Vanamangoma and the others, Pai. So issue of reports, in my view, must be taken very holistic. It's something, it's a legal requirement when the party feels someone is no longer representing its interests and they remove them from parliament or from council. That would be my response to that.
Because already they are no longer representing the party because they didn't come from what? From the grassroots. So, the organization, I'm going to abuse. And if you read our introduction, leaders have abused. So, when they abuse, but I'm not manage. That's why we called for a press conference to open up standards. And let's talk about what we should do. You mean, Mr. Journalist, MDC had 23 years. Because you are much a good and what I could do, Saka, most of the what particular this is our main thing, and we say party guide with its leaders, including me, but some leaders are not by nature in Nika, could take organs is our Pumi when you but we saw around me as
Can I have you?
Maybe I just got interested as a political scientist and an analyst to come forward. They come through following yet another presser of other pressers, having seen events in the MDC, events across all the political divide. And I was also taking into consideration.
And this is what we are fighting against, constitutionalism. And the MDC is a constitutional party. Thank you very much for coming.
We just want to appeal to people to say, talk to Zimbabweans, let's discuss this. This becomes a topical issue in Zimbabwe. Are we making institutions? The institutions must make sure that they protect the integrity of that institution so that individuals who come and go are not going to disrupt the performance of that institution. I think.
Thank you.